Yeah,
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Pine Room. Very special guest today out of Massillon, Ohio, Mr. Kyle NICOLAS, the Pittsburgh Pirate. Hey, Kyle, we're going to start out with this question. We've been having this debate. You get 10 drives as an NFL quarterback to lead the team down and score a touchdown for $1 million. But if you don't score a touchdown, you owe $100,000. Do you think you can do it?
No chance. There's no way.
You seriously you get 10 chances to pull it off.
To go, well, how far are you going?
You get the ball at the 25-yard line.
Okay. I really don't think so. I don't think so. I think that's way too hard. There's a lot going on there.
What if you had out?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If you got
What'd you say, Cools? If you hand it off every time?
Yeah, like what if I hand it off and Derrick Henry runs 70 yards? Does that count?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess if I got Derrick Henry, I might take the chance.
I guess it depends on what offense you have.
Yeah, yeah.
You put me with a 49, get there.
With the Steelers offense, that ain't happening.
No.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Maybe if I just keep underthrowing guys and get pass interference all the way down the field, can pull it off. But I don't know. That's a tough one. It depends, but yeah, I might take the shot. But if it was just me and I had to make a bunch of passes, I'd say probably not.
Hey man, well, I guess we should start out with this. We're massive Jackson High polar bear fans.
There we go.
Because of Earl. When we first met him, that little shithead wouldn't shut up about you guys. He said he wouldn't stop talking about, oh, we were the number 4th ranked team in the country. We haven't got beat.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. So it made us not like Jackson. But then when we became best friends with Earl, we were all fans of all you guys. And now it was cool to see, like, he would tell us about you, and we've been following you all the way through, man. It was cool watching you go. And Earl would tell us, hey, I was teammates with this guy, and we got to keep watching. We're huge Pirate fans. So I guess let's start there. How was your kind of your time in high school leading you into Division I ball, and how did Jackson and your college kind of prep you to get ready for the bigs?
Yeah, I mean, Jackson was definitely a special time. Just growing up with everybody on the team. It's a pretty tight-knit community. So we probably had like 15 guys, our senior class, playing that we played together with since about 3rd grade. The grade above us, which would have been your guys' grade, they had like 18. They had even more.
Wow.
So my junior year, I barely even played. I maybe threw 20 innings on the mound. I was like the backup shortstop. I'd come in the last inning because our shortstop was our closer. But summer ball was kind of where, I kind of picked up pitching more. And then senior year was kind of our time to go, and got a lot more innings that year, and ended up winning the state championship our senior year, which was really sweet. Just having a team that close and knowing everybody so well, just going all the way like that, and finishing off what we've been talking about for years. I mean, it was really special.
I mean, your facilities are unbelievable. I mean, like when we were playing and we would go back to Canton and work out, we felt like we were at a small university. Like we had indoor training facilities to go work out at. Earl would take us to some dude that would put us through an hour-and-a-half workout. We wouldn't be able to walk for 3 days. We'd eat about 16 cheeseburgers from Swenson. So that whole area felt like a little university. What's your journey been like, man? I mean, you broke into the league this year. You had some really good innings. Mentally, physically, what's it all been like kind of getting there?
Yeah, it's been a pretty wild ride, honestly. Not heavily recruited out of high school. Went to Ball State, was there for 3 years, kind of made some big strides there. But still was pretty raw going into the draft. I had a couple good outings my draft year, and it kind of shot me up the draft board. So was fortunate enough to get drafted pretty high, but I knew I knew, and you know, there was still a lot of work to be done. So went through my first couple years in the minors as a starter. A lot of good outings, a lot of bad outings. And then this past year with the Pirates, I got moved to reliever in August in AAA, and then that's kind of where things kind of started taking off. Had a really good month and a half in AAA, and was fortunate enough to get that call up for the last 2 weeks. But you know, it's been a weird road, but it's been fun. I mean, playing a kid's game for a living, it's you can't really complain. So I'm having a blast.
There's
Yeah, Kyle, what was it like? Because you were with the Marlins, correct? What was that experience like getting traded to the Pirates? Was it pretty exciting, you know, to kind of move back towards home?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was sweet. So you're right. I played 1 year in the minors with the Marlins, then got traded that off season. You know, I grew up obviously around the area. I'm a big Steelers fan.
let's go.
Grew up, yeah, and obviously, you know, 2 hours from Pittsburgh. You know, it was pretty sweet to be able to come back and play my first 2 years here in the minors they're close enough to home to where my family can come out a lot. Altoona was close enough, Indy was close enough, and then obviously Pittsburgh's the closest. But you know, it was really special being able to come back closer to home, and you know, my family wasn't able to come down as much. All the teams I was playing with the Marlins were in Florida. So yeah, it was really cool. And you know, I'm kind of a Midwest boy at heart, so it was nice to be back up here for sure.
There's so many relief pitchers and so many guys trying to break into the bigs as starters. And outside looking in, we see so many things that sets you guys apart. But what's something that you're really focusing on this offseason? You're like, hey, if I can craft this, or if I can perfect this, it's going to set me apart in this year coming up.
Yeah. There's a couple things. I think for me, it's always been my command of the strike zone. You know, that's kind of where it's been my focus and my development is hold on, sorry, I'm getting distracted.
Fort Wayne, Indiana, there's a lot going on there, so you got to be careful.
Fort Wayne, the Nailers play Fort Wayne, I think this weekend.
Do they really?
Fort Wayne Comets, yeah.
They got bounced back after the Idaho series.
I know.
Wait a second, Jarrett. Fort Wayne has a what league are the Nailers in?
ECHL team, yeah. It's the Fort Wayne Comets, and then there's another Indy Fuel. I'm not sure where they're at. I probably Indianapolis, but yeah, Fort Wayne and in Indy.
They might have
What'd you say, Cools?
They need to have a G League team too.
Yeah, they're in the Comets are in the ECHL.
I think they did.
Fort Wayne does not have a G League team there.
Fort Wayne.
Wait, Jarrett, who's the Fort Wayne's ECHL team affiliated with?
That's a good question. I'll look that up. I don't know.
Yeah, Soup, the Indiana Mad Ants.
Shut up, the Mad Ants.
Like I said, I knew they had one. For the Pacers.
All right, I'm good now. I don't know what that was. I don't know how loud it was, but I could hear it through my AirPods, so I figured it was kind of loud.
Oh,
I don't know what.
You were good.
Okay. All right. Yeah, some lady was screaming. I don't know. But hopefully you can edit all that out.
Well, we might keep some of it in because then we should start to have a conversation about your G League team in Fort Wayne. I didn't even know Fort Wayne had a G League team.
Yeah. I'm actually working out here is it used to be their old like training facility.
Oh, sweet.
So yeah, the Mad Ants or something.
See? I knew it.
Hey, I wanted to ask you this too. I mean, we got a shit ton of questions, but what's it like when you get to spring training and you know you're about to be in a battle trying to make a big league spot? Is there pressure on you, or is it like, hey, I just got to go out there and do my job and the rest will take care of itself?
Yeah, that's kind of the position that I'm in right now. My first year on the 40-man roster going into spring. And obviously, there's a lot of spots in the bullpen, but there's a lot of guys fighting for that spot. So I try to take as much pressure off myself as I can and just try to have fun and just have fun pitching. You know, I've put a lot of pressure on myself in the past to, you know, get through the minors or in colleges to get drafted or whatever it was. And, you know, that usually doesn't work out too well. You kind of start pressing um, and the results aren't as good. So you just kind of say screw it and go out there, have fun and try to execute as much as possible. But at the end of the day, you got to be free. You can't really be playing with any pressure, or it's probably not going to go too good.
What about guys you've been around so far? I know you're 24 years old, your big league career is just starting right now, but has there been any leaders or anyone you've kind of been around that you've seen that like, hey, I'd like to stay on that guy's team moving forward, and this guy's definitely a good leader in the clubhouse? Because I mean, we're obviously Pirate fans and baseball fans and all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you guys are less than a season away. You're there right now from making that run and going to make a push at the playoffs. So your short time here in the bigs, what's it kind of been like around some of these pros?
Yeah, it's been a really cool opportunity. Obviously, you guys probably know we had a super young team, especially at the end of the year, a bunch of rookies. And then you got Kutch there, who he's been doing it for a while, and obviously, you know, they brought him in to, you know, he's a Pittsburgh legend. He's going to produce. He's a all-star caliber player, but also to just kind of have that impact in the clubhouse around all these young guys. So he's definitely a leader that has a huge impact in the clubhouse. For me specifically, you know, spent a lot of time in the bullpen with my 2 weeks there, and I'd say, you know, Bednar obviously, you know, he's the man, and I'd say he's someone that us rookies should definitely look up to. I mean, what, 30, almost 30 saves, almost, or 40 saves, whatever it was. He's been there, done that now, and you know, just watching him go about his business, what he does on a day-to-day basis, it was really cool, and definitely something I can learn from, and honestly, all of us should be learning from.
Definitely, he's Bednar's definitely the man. I wanted to ask you, has there been a moment yet where you're on the mound and you're like, man, I'm in the big leagues? Has it kind of set in yet?
I mean, it was like my first outing in Wrigley. Lights were definitely on. They were fighting for a playoff spot. That place gets loud, and they had a reason to get loud. That my first time out there, and you know, my legs were shaking a little bit, and I just looked around. I was like, this is crazy. Like, this is wild. I was just in Omaha pitching in front of like 1,000 people, and now I'm here pitching in front of however many people they had, and that's such a historic stadium, and I don't know, it was just crazy, and it feels like a smaller stadium, but the fans are right on top of you, and so that was a pretty wild experience, and just honestly, all of the outings after that, I'm just running out and seeing the stands and all the fans, and I'm like, yeah, this is it. This is where I want to be.
Definitely. Yeah. Has Wrigley been your coolest place or your favorite place you played so far besides PNC?
Yeah, I'd say probably besides PNC. I had never been to PNC till that last series there. And that was my favorite for sure. But yeah, I'd say Wrigley. Philly was also really cool. But yeah, I'd probably say Wrigley.
I got a question here. I was looking at your splits from last year. You struck out Soler for the Marlins looking. on a 97-mile-an-hour fastball on the outside half. I wanted to know, were you intimidated after you struck him out that he was going to charge the mound? He's 6'4", and if I struck him out, I think I would apologize. My question is, what's it like going against some of these guys that, I mean, I know for a fact that you were watching while you were playing at Ball State, that some of these, I mean, these are the best hitters in the world. What's that preparation look like when you're coming out of the bullpen? Like, hey, I'm going to pitch this guy a certain way, or I can't leave this pitch up, or it's going to go 450 feet. What's the preparation look like for you?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. That guy's massive in the box. And then better yet, I had Josh Bell on deck coming up after that. So I was like, oh man, it's just the gauntlet right there. But yeah, I mean, honestly, our pitching staff, our coaches, they did a really good job of preparing us before every series, and just kind of how our strengths played against guys, every hitter in the lineup, and you kind of just go over that throughout the game while you're sitting in the bullpen, kind of visualizing it in your head, you know, how you're going to pitch a guy, what counts you want to get in, if you get in bad counts, what to do with that. So I kind of learned as I went on, but honestly, it's just having the confidence that you belong there, pitching with emotion, pitching with conviction, and just having the confidence of going right at guys that, you know, you've been watching on TV for 5 to 10 years, and believing that you belong there. That was the biggest thing for me, and I think most young guys that come up.
What are your thoughts on the DH in the NL now? Were you ever looking forward to getting some at bats in the bigs when you started coming up as a pitcher, or are you kind of like, hey, that's their job, I don't ever want to touch another, I don't want to touch another bat ever again?
No, so I used to love hitting growing up. I really wasn't that much of a pitcher till I got to high school. I loved hitting, but I mean, the pitchers nowadays are insane. So I'm cool with the DH. I don't need any of that smoke. But I will say my first spring training with the Marlins, it wasn't gone yet. So we were taking BP and bunting practice when I first got drafted, but that ended quickly after that new CBA took that away. Yeah.
Damn. Hey, so before we know it, you know, the spring training is going to be here. Season's going to start. What's kind of the vibe in the clubhouse around the organization? Is it pretty? I mean, from what I can tell on the outside looking in, it's a pretty exciting time coming up. Do you guys feel the same way?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, it was a big improvement this year from the previous year. And I honestly believe we got the guys to make a big step. And I mean, there's talent everywhere. There's so much talent just watching these guys play every day, and watching our pitchers. So I was there the last 12 games, and I mean, every team we played was battling for a playoff spot, and we were right there with them every single game. So I mean, that definitely makes you optimistic going into the next year, and you got a lot of positivity building from that. So I mean, just from my experience up there, and you know how guys are talking, like this is the group to do it, to kind of get the Pirates back to the winning ways. And I'm just excited to be a part of it. You know, I'm just excited to take that mound whenever they call my name. And I don't know. I think it's just going to be really fun, just getting back to just playing ball and winning games.
We're definitely excited as fans for sure.
Let's go Buccos.
Yeah, let's go Bucks.
Hey, I was just wondering, you guys have a ton of crazy personalities, crazy talent. I was wondering if you had to pick one guy in the clubhouse, who do you think would probably be like the funniest guy in the clubhouse? So
Funniest guy. There's a lot of funny guys. There's a lot of jokesters. I don't know. I think like Baraki. Baraki was a funny guy in the bullpen. Just thinking of guys in the bullpen that I spent the most time with. he was always cracking jokes. Bednar's cracking jokes. But yeah, a lot of guys keeping it light. It's a pretty good vibe in there.
I bet the bullpen's an awesome experience sitting
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah, it's it's fun. When I switched over from starter, it was a new experience for me, but I was like, yeah, I kind of dig this. This is kind of fun.
You need to let me know, man. I'll come hang out with you guys.
You got to pitch in. I don't know if you know the stat, Jarrett. You might. One of the biggest comebacks in the Pirates' history, correct? When we were down 8-0. Is that the biggest comeback that we came back and won?
I think it was ever.
You struck out De La Cruz that game. I was going to ask you of a favor. If you play them in spring training, can you throw one of your fastballs right down the middle? I want to see how far he can hit it. Just because like you sit mid to upper 90s. So I feel like if he gets a Kyle Nicolas fastball right down the middle, he might be able to hit it 500 feet.
He might be able to, but also I'm trying to win a job in spring, so I don't think I'm going to do that. So
because
don't do that. That guy stinks.
Technically, right now, you have De La Cruz's number. So anytime that he comes up against the Buccos for the next 20 years, if you just pitch against De La Cruz, we're good. And we don't have to worry about that guy hitting into the Allegheny.
Yeah, just the one hitter specialist. I could be that, I guess.
All right, let's talk about these Steelers. You said you're a Steelers fan. 6-3 right now. We can't score any points. And I don't understand how we keep winning games, but what are your thoughts on the Black and the Steelers right now?
Oh, I don't know how we're 6-3. I have no idea. But I mean we're here. Second in the division. I love what they're doing with Najee and Jalen Warren the past couple games.
Yes.
I mean, they're getting them out in space. Jalen Warren is electric.
He's a dog.
He's a dog. He runs hard, he's fast, he's quick. I love watching him play. But yeah, I don't know how they just keep doing it. Kenny Pickett, Mr. Fourth Quarter. They're just grinding them out. Yeah. I don't know. There's not much else to say. They're gritty.
Yeah, that's facts. They are gritty. They big one this Sunday coming up against the Browns. I mean, you've got to have a ton of friends from back home that are probably Browns fans, just like Earl and all those guys.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm hoping for a Steelers win just so we get to talk some trash because you know how it is when the Browns or Ohio State win. I'm sorry if you're an Ohio State fan. It is just you can't even listen to them talk because it's just they don't hear anything. They just tell you what they want to hear, and that's it. So,
yeah, most of my friends are Browns fans, so we'll be talking smack. We beat them week 2, right? So
yes.
We've been able to talk some mess lately, but the playoff game a couple years back, that was not good because they had the entire offseason to do that.
Yeah, that hurts. So, all right, man. Well, a couple more questions here. What does what's your offseason look like right now for the next, I don't know, 3 or 4 months? I know you guys pitchers report early March usually.
Mm-hmm.
So what can you do from November till February? Are you trying to put on weight, like work on some spin on some of your pitches? What's that look like over the next 4 months?
Yeah, I mean, there's the working out aspect. So, trying to get stronger. I wouldn't say I'm trying to put on any weight right now, just trying to move faster, get stronger, but kind of maintain weight. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Just started throwing last week. So not real high intensity, but as the off season goes on, you'll try to start messing with your pitches or just kind of refine them and get them back to where they were during the season. And then kind of later on, you if you need to shape them differently or work on some stuff, then that's when you do that, when you start getting on the mound. But yeah, probably start throwing bullpens in a couple maybe a month or two, probably in January, and lead that into spring. I think our report date is like mid-February this year. So get down to Bradenton for that and get to it. I'm fired up, honestly.
Let's go.
I took like 2 weeks off and I was like, all right, I'm ready to get back. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
We were told to ask about, I believe it would have been then your sophomore or junior year, a no-hitter or a perfect game while you're at Jackson.
Oh yeah.
Is that
no-hitter?
No-hitter. So walk us through that. Was there any big plays made or how'd that go?
Yeah, that was my junior year. It was at home. I honestly don't remember too much of it. I know I was throwing like all heaters and they were just like not catching up to it at all. And at that point I wasn't even throwing that hard. So I really didn't know what was going on. I was just trying not to blow it out there.
Yeah.
There was definitely a couple good plays. Definitely in the infield. It was a fast turf infield in high school. So I'm sure some diving plays at third or second. Chad might have made a diving play. I don't know, but
well, that's why I was told to ask, because he made sure to let us know that, hey guys, I made a play on Kyle's no hitter, second base in the hole, stood up and threw a dart to the first baseman.
I figured that's why. But yeah, hey, shout out to Chad for locking it up for me. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate you taking some time with us. This is awesome. You gained some new fans today, so let's go Buccos. We'll be following you, and yeah, we'll have to send you some of that Pine Room Lager.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds good, fellas. I appreciate you having me on. And yep, let's go Bucks. Raise the Jolly Roger.
Thanks for joining us, man.
See you, Kyle.
Yep.
See you.
See you guys.